Well, ladies, as you know, I've been working with my stepmom to get her where she needs to be housing wise. So she's in a nice seniors home and being watched and getting fed and all that good stuff. But during this process, it really highlighted to me about all the things you need to do in order to get your ducks in a row. Her power of attorney, what she wants to do when she passes away, what about her funeral arrangement? What about her estate? What's going on? And it's just being horrible trying to pull that information from her because she's a little past that stage. You know, that stage where everything's good and everyone's thinking properly, and she does not have dementia, but she has scattered brain where she
Hmm.
says one thing and then she tells someone else another thing and then she tells someone else another thing. And so trying to gather all this information and put it in place has been really hard. And I'm asking you ladies, do you have your ducks in a row?
I can
Are you gonna put
honestly,
that burden on the
yep,
people around you, or have you put your ducks in a row?
yes and no. So my children know my wishes for when I pass, but I don't have everything, but I do have some stuff. It's like, how do I want to say? I go to a certain point and then I'm like, well, I don't need that yet. So I don't go further. So when I had my surgery, couple of years ago, my cancer surgery, I had everything in place in case something happened to me during the surgery. Like who was my medical POA, power of attorney, who could look at my files, who can do whatever. And so I had all that put in order. Some things have changed since, but have I made the updates and done what I need to? Absolutely not. I'm gonna say it because there's times in my mind where I'm like, I don't need that yet. Being
Tracy?
honest.
Yeah, I'm guilty. Dave and I talk about it all the time, that we need to put together the binder, so that when we pass, my daughter has, all the information that she needs, to carry on with life and who to contact and all of those things. We have done things like our will and power of attorney, for health and all of that kind of stuff. Like all of that has been done. And it was done just simply because, oh yeah, we really should get this done. Right. But like all the other things that are really super important, that people are going to need to know have not been done. And that's terrible because we have been the executors of
Mhm.
about five different people, and it has been one of the most challenging things to go through
Even
when
if they've done it
people
right.
even if they've done it right, it's challenging. First of all, you're dealing with your own grief and loss and all of that. And then you're now having to try to, put everything into place the way the person has requested it. And God help you if there's, siblings and all sorts of things involved with that other person. Like, it's a nightmare. And I mean, every time we did it, we said, oh my God, we can't, we have to get all of this information together for Megs. Like this would not be fair. So yeah, no, I'm guilty, and we I'm gonna buy a binder for my husband this Christmas.
Now, Tracy G, are you have all your ducks in a row?
Well, zero.
Yeah. It's like
Why this highlighted
I
so much? We have a will because our last will had people that we don't even associate with anymore. And then our latest will has our witnesses have passed. And so, hello, we should update that. But this was just an eye opener where it's like, and I do believe it's a mindset. Well, I'll get to it. I'm not there yet. And I just went, my husband and I have discussed this. We need to do this now. We need to have this all sorted out. Do not want, I never realize how much more it's a burden so that our children do not have to second guess anything and that they're, all those implications, like you've done as best you can for the tax laws and inheritance laws and all that crap. And I just go, shame on you, Tracy, because I'd like to have everything in organized, and this area is just one of those areas. And I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if it's like you're giving a gift to the people around you by not making them have to make any
Yeah,
decisions.
totally.
Yet this is the one thing
I,
you kind of stall on.
I
Hmm.
don't know if we so much stall on it. I don't think, how do I want to say? We all know it's going to happen. It's inevitable. Okay. But I don't think we ever think it's going to happen quickly.
Hmm.
Like we're going to have time to do what we have to do to get everything in place. I think that is our thought processes. And even the three of us, that's our mindset. I
Mhm.
Yeah.
think because we keep ourselves active and young and we work on our businesses and we have our sharp minds and all of that. We're like, yeah, I'm going to do that when I get old.
Yeah.
And I think this is another thing that society is like, that is planning like that is, that's when you're old. That's like this. And I think you're right, Tracy G. We should start looking at it as a gift we are giving our loved ones, a gift of peace and
Mhm.
love. Like, and I've never thought of it that way until we just had this discussion.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Well, even my,
especially the death part.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to have happen when you die? That should definitely not have to be
yeah,
made. Those decisions should not have to be made by the people that are left behind. Definitely not. They're not
Yeah.
in
For
any state.
because
for
that's
some
one of the main
reason,
questions I had for her was what do you, and she goes, oh, I want this, this, and this. I go, well, have you told anyone? Does anyone know this? Because this is the first I'm finding out about it.
right.
And
Yeah.
there was certain things she definitely wanted. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it's funny you said that because one day I think it was when my dad had passed so quickly. I sat my boys down and I'm like, you know what? I've just been through this twice in 3 weeks. I don't want any of this bull crap. Like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
This is I want plain and simple. I'll be honest with you guys. I want to be cremated. If they wish to have a party or somebody to share stories, let's do that. And then I want my ashes split in half. And I want Jason to take him to a place that he feels connected to me and release him. And I want Michael to do the same thing so they have a place to go where they feel close to me. And they're like, well, that's easy, man. Yep, I'm breaking all tradition, like from my family all the way down. Yep, that's what I want. And they're like, oh, okay. All right, we can do that, you
No, you're a
know?
lot farther along than I am.
Mm.
Well, I
Mm.
think, like I said, because I had back-to-back funeral,
Yeah.
literally back-to-back funerals. In November, my stepdad, and in December, my dad. Like I planned one, came home, went to a trade show, got called to Connecticut. He died. I had to plan another funeral. I'm like, yeah, not what I want. But I think you bring up some really good points. Like, and I think it's easy to, like, people might not even figure out what to do. Like, where do I go? Like, you can do basic things, I think. Even like you said, Tracy E, you're going to get a binder, even if you got a notebook and just wrote down all of your accounts
Mhm.
and the account numbers and the banks that they're at.
Do you have a
Mhm.
secure, what's it called? Deposit box? Do you have
Mhm.
Facts,
like
right?
blah, blah, blah? What's the
Yeah.
password to your computer?
Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
Your phone,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
things like that is like, shoot, yeah. Like I'm sitting here thinking, like, yeah, never thought of any of that stuff. Like, I think we keep things so private at times, and we don't want to write things down because it could get stolen. But you can put it in a fire safe box and hide that some like I'm sorry, I'm gonna sound probably really naive or whatever, or not whatever. If somebody really wants your private stuff, they're gonna get it one
Yeah.
way or another. Like, I'm sorry, they are. You know, we put all our precautions around. I am cautious, but they're gonna get it. Someone wants to break in your house bad enough, they're gonna break in the house bad enough.
Mm.
So I think we should. Boy, Tracy, this is a good topic. Like,
Mhm.
holy crap.
Should we challenge? Should we challenge ourselves?
I
I
think
We
mean,
we
yeah,
should
I
not
think,
right
should.
now though, right? Don't do it today.
yeah, yeah.
No, I think we should give ourselves like 90 days and come back and talk about it. I
Hmm.
don't think it's something, I mean, we have the holidays coming up and we have all these other things coming up and we're all
I know,
busy.
but that's the typical thing we do, right? Oh, I don't have
I
time
know,
for that right now. I don't have time for that right now.
right. I understand that, but I think this should be something we check in with each other, like in January, February, and March. And by March, our March shows, we have either completed, what have we done, what did we find out, how do we feel? I don't
Mm.
know. What do you think, ladies?
I think it's a great idea because I think we will each find something that we didn't think of that is like, ooh, people should know this,
Mhm.
right? I mean, maybe some people do, but like I didn't know it, so it's worth sharing to other people. Hey, I didn't know this. Did you know you have to do this? Did you know this had
Yeah,
to happen? Like all of that stuff, right? So yeah, I think it's an excellent idea.
And I think it also, like to me, I don't think it's a burden on me, but I think it's in the back of my head. And it's just one of those little uncomfortable, a little itch once in a while where I go, gotta
yep,
get that done. And I just think going into 2025, knowing, hey, again, looking at it as a gift to your loved ones, that I've given this gift. It's no longer, excuse me, it's no longer something I have to do, and it's done. I'm
right,
done. If I need to make
right,
changes down the road, they're minor changes. The bulk of
Yeah,
it's done. And I
yeah,
think it's
right.
one of those things that feels very overwhelming, but when you actually start going through the process, it's just ticking off stuff and
Yeah,
creating
yeah,
your binder.
yeah,
yes, yeah.
that's it. You know, you never know. Like, never ever know.
Yeah. It's
I
even
totally
simple
agree with
things
that.
like, okay, yeah, I've done a will, but does anybody know where that is? Does anybody
Right.
like where is it? What lawyer what was it that you used? Do they
Are they
have a
still in
copy?
business?
Yeah, who's the executor for when you do die? Who is that
Yep.
person?
Yeah.
That needs to dialogue with everybody else. Like, yeah,
It
there's
was
a
funny. When my dad passed, I knew nothing of what he had. And he lived a very humble life. He lived a very quiet life, humble, his happiness was service to others. And so I was in his small apartment and I was going to the funeral home and I'm like, I know he has a life insurance policy. Like I knew he had one, but all I knew was he had one. That was it. I knew nothing else.
Mhm.
Nothing else. And I'm in his apartment and I'm like, I, I've looked through drawers and file cabinets and all this stuff. And I'm like, where could this be? Like, where could it be? And I found it in a strong box, shoved under his bed with things on top of it because he didn't want anybody to steal it. And I had to break the strong box open.
Wow.
And there was this little small um, life insurance policy that I was able to use to bury him with. But that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like where a central place that you have your stuff
Yep.
that you can just I like that binder thing. Passover and
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. All right,
hey, we're
so
doing it.
we're going to do it. We're all committed. I
Yep.
love when we commit to something because we don't want to let each other down. All right, so we're going to commit. So here's the thing. I'm going to challenge you, viewer. If you also want to commit to this and join this challenge with us, put a comment below. If you have already done this, give us some advice in the comments.
Mhm.
Let us know what we need to
Yes.
do because
Yes.
we would be really open to do that. And even if you know some stories of things to watch out for, help us along with this. But also share this with somebody that you think needs to hear this. So maybe you know somebody a little older that hasn't done anything, that keeps putting it off. Have them join the challenge with us. But make sure you make sure you hit notify so you know when our next episode is coming out. But until next time, see you then.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.